Hello, I just want to talk briefly about online dyslexia tuition and to give you an idea about how it works. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and a lot of people feel that when they are looking for a dyslexia specialist tutor that they need face to face, because we always say that for dyslexic students we need multisensory learning, and that is entirely true. But it is totally possible to provide a multisensory environment to our students through online dyslexia specialist support. I think that there's a misunderstanding. One of the reasons there is a misunderstanding about online tuition is because people are thinking about the experience they had with their children during COVID. But one-to-one individual tuition based around a dyslexia program is so far from that, it's not even possible to explain how far from it is. It's very, very different. Now, here at Dyslexia Solutions Online, we always use Zoom for our clients. And the reason we use Zoom is because, unlike Teams and other programs, you can give remote control to the student. So when we are preparing a game, so let's take, for example, maybe a matching activity or a pairs game that we would have played in face-to-face tuition on the desk with the student. We make that on an interactive whiteboard. We share the screen and we play with the student. We give them remote control of the screen. So we make it very multisensory, and for most students they actually find it easier to focus and to concentrate at home because they're in their own environment. There's no anxiety associated with being dragged out of the house on a cold winter morning or a sunny afternoon when they want to play in the garden. You don't have to add in the travel time either, so it's much easier for parents. If your child's got the sniffles and a little bit of a cold, they can still have their lessons as well. So there's a multitude of reasons why actually it's easier for both the parent and the child. I've had children come for face-to-face tuition over the years who have attention and concentration difficulties, and the minute they're in my room, they're looking everywhere, they're asking about things that are on the wall, they're touching things on the desk, etc. So there's that element there that people tend to think that face-to-face is easier for the child to concentrate, but it's not necessarily. If you've got them sat at a desk in their bedroom, in your study, in your kitchen, as long as there's no other external distractions, and their desk is cleared with just the things they need for the tuition, they're often able to concentrate much better, especially if they have some earplugs or earphones in as well to cut out some of the external noise. So online dyslexia tuition through Dyslexia Solutions Online is taught by qualified dyslexia specialists. Now, this is just something also that's really important to point out. Anyone can call themselves a dyslexia specialist, a dyslexia tutor, a dyslexia teacher. It is not a protected term. Nobody can go along and call themselves a speech and language therapist unless they've done the speech and language degree. You can't call yourself a medical doctor unless you've got a medical degree. But actually, they are protected terms, and dyslexia specialist isn't. So it's really important that if you engage a dyslexia specialist, that you check that they do have at least a level 5 qualification in dyslexia tutoring or dyslexia teaching. It might be called in literacy intervention. There's different terminology there. Always feel free, even if you're not coming through our company, to send me a message and I can let you know if that is a recognised qualification. Now, there are two levels. There's level 5 and level 7. It doesn't mean that level 7 are any more highly trained for tuition than level 5. Level 7 just means that I'm a level 7, we can also assess and diagnose. In fact, some of the really good tutors are level 5 tutors because they spend their time just tutoring, whereas the level 7 tutors, some don't engage in tutoring at all, others just do a little. I mean, it does vary. And in our team, we have level 7 and level 5 tutors, but they're all very, very good. They all go through a rigorous interview process, DBS checked, and they go through safeguarding each year, and they have a dyslexia qualification for that. So just as I say, don't dismiss dyslexia specialist tuition online. Talk to the provider, find out how they would adapt it for your child and give it a go. because in the long run, I think you'll find from your perspective as a parent, it's so much easier. It's easier than taking the child to somebody's house and having to hang around or to go back again. And if you're having a tutor in your home, which is hard, sometimes to find, I don't know about you, but if somebody's coming in, I've always got to have a tidy up. So from that perspective, you can just sit them in a nice quiet corner and they can engage and have their lesson. And one final advantage, you can listen in if you want. There's nothing to stop you listening in or popping on at the end and seeing what they're doing. So you actually get more idea of how the student is progressing, how the tutor is engaging with them and the activities they're doing. So I hope you find that helpful. Thank you. Do drop me a message below if you've got any questions, or you can email me tuition@dyslexiaservices.net. I'm Sarah Beard, dyslexia specialist. Thank you.